So we're joined here at the Autosport International Show by two legends of the motorsport insurance world. We have on my right here Justin Everitt. Good to see you, Justin. And we have on my left here Richard Hicks. Now, Richard, you've been working with Justin for a little while now, and motorsport obviously is why everybody's here at this event. But the insurance side of things is something that sometimes is a bit of a last thought with a lot of people, especially club racers. And you focus on one particular area, don't you?
Well, I focus across the board, but the Formula One boys, of course, buy their insurance, and their management do, and the teams do. But when we get down to a club level, there's probably a lot of danger, and people don't think about the insurance.
So you might get a situation, for example, where you've got a guy who's, businessman and goes racing for a bit of fun at the weekend. And as you quite rightly said, it might be sort of a last thing on his list. But as we saw in 2013, there were some stark reminders of the risks that are involved in motorsport from some of the tragedies that we saw there. But what's the sort of thing that makes it easy for these kind of drivers to get involved with Morris?
Well, Morris has the ability to buy online, which I think is the only one that does that. Justin would know more about that. I've seen people buying insurance through various means, sometimes a long chain of people. The great joy of Morris is you can do it online, one click, and I get the money, you get the policy.
And that's easily done then. So Justin, explain a little bit more. Richard's obviously given us a bit of a taste of exactly how it works. But so I'm going racing tomorrow. I'm racing something like this. In fact, this is your race car. So I was racing with you, for example. What do I do?
With Morris, it's very, very easy. It's morris.co.uk with one R. And we have a number of online products. The personal injury product is specifically what we have been aiming at this year, or last year, I should say, with regards to a survey as well. But very easily, you just simply punch in your name, address, date of birth. You select the benefits, the sums insured that you want. Individuals can insure themselves up to £250,000. Can insure for loss of weekly income, even emergency medical expenses. Pay online and it's done, and people get their policy instantly. They pay for it, they get it, and there is no quicker means of a policy being delivered to a race driver, a club race driver at the moment.
So obviously every policy is going to be unique to the individual person and the individual race program, etc. that they're doing. So for someone like myself, if I decide to go racing again in something like this, rough idea, ballpark, would you be able to give us an idea?
Well, and the easiest way of illustrating that is we've been running an advertising campaign. It's in the MSA magazine. I believe in putting some confidence and faith in the products, of course. So I have myself putting forward with a very, very simple strap line, I'm insured, are you? And we've given an example there. I've insured myself for the full £250,000 that I can do online, and that costs just £69 for a season's racing. That is less than an entry fee for a lot of club racers. And to consider the benefit that could provide if something awful should happen to me, I don't think there is better money spent in motorsport than something as simple as that.
Yeah, and obviously, Richard, from your point of view, I'm thinking that, as we were saying, that there's so many things out there that people do as a hobby. This is one of those ones that seems to have got safer and safer over the years, but as we said, the risks are still out there. So for a family man like myself and Justin, go racing, something went wrong, that's going to be a significant impact on your life.
Of course, and so many people will buy insurance, for example, when they go on holiday, as a matter of course, but when they're dropping into a racing car, they don't think about it. And I think that's wrong.
Yeah. And also, I know from experience that when you get your own normal sort of life insurance, they'll flag that up. There's a great big alarm bell goes off as if you're doing any kind of dangerous sport or whatever, especially a couple of old buggers like me and you, Justin. Now we're getting a bit old and wrinkly. I think the risk probably goes up, doesn't it?
Well, there is no distinction. I don't think one's allowed these days to actually draw a distinction with age and rate of insurance policies, of course. But when Richard and I originally started looking at some of the statistics, of course, there aren't many people that do die in motorsport, but there's more of an unknown question in terms of how many people have very serious injuries, and they don't get reported or seen or recorded in the motorsport press. And I'm not going to be alarmist about anything, but it's just simply say, look, accidents do happen, and we've a number of people have asked us, okay, so what's your perception in terms of how many people are insured if they have an accident. Now, I'd always had a sneaking suspicion what the answer was because, well, let's be honest, no, I haven't always been insured when I've raced either. And I figured if I was like that, then probably a lot of my sort of teammates or competitors were in exactly the same boat. So we had the young Sir Maurice Marvels join me when I was racing last year, and they undertook a very, very simple survey around the paddock and just talked to people, literally just asking whether they were insured, how they perceived the dangers of motorsport and what they perceived to be a fair cost to them. And it wasn't very revealing in the sense that it revealed totally what was already suspected, which was, guess what? The majority of people just aren't insuring. And as I said, for the money that can be spent, for the benefits that can be gained, if an irreversible event happens, I don't think you can do better than just start with a simple personal accident policy.
Yeah, and I think your point there of the sort of kind of costs as premiums, it's a negligible amount of money. We all know motorsport is if you're going to go racing and to do it properly, it's going to cost a few quid. So that's pennies really in comparison. So gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for your time. Enjoy the rest of the show, and we look forward to seeing you out in action this year, Justin.
See what I can do.